Welcome back to Grassroots Media, and welcome back to this week's edition of the Gregory, Excavating, and Contracting Billy Kaylor Show, where we cover everything on the black coal with the Chuckey-Doak Black Knights. As always, I'm sitting here with Black Knight head coach Billy Kaylor. Coach, good to see you this evening.
Good to see you.
How's your week of practice been so far?
Been a pretty good week of practice. Kids have got after it, been focused, so I'm happy with them.
Did you come out here on Monday for Labor Day, or did you give them a day off?
No, we had not many days off from football season.
Especially last week, too. You had a short week last week, so I figured you'd try to take advantage instead of having another short week this week.
That's right. We needed that extra day for sure.
Well, luckily you get to play on Friday night this week instead of Thursday night. I think you only have one more Thursday night game the rest of the season. Yep. You don't have to deal with that till later, I think in late October. So you've got a few months away from that where you can just chill on Thursday nights and watch your middle school action, which we've got going on out here too. They're playing the Rebels tonight, aren't they?
Yeah, it should be a good game.
A little county action here between the Rebels and Black Knights middle school teams. So you all won't see this till after the game's over, but hopefully it's a good game out there for the middle school teams. I enjoy talking about some of the middle school teams on here every now and then too.
Yeah.
We ought to do that sometime in the future.
Absolutely.
Maybe if we have time at the end of this one, we might, but it just depends on if I remember or not. I have short-term memory loss, so we'll see. But let's talk about the game on Friday or Thursday night.
That's right, yeah.
Last week is still messing with me. I'm so ready to get this week out of the way, so we don't have to talk about the Thursday-Friday debacle last week. But ended up being a 40-6 win over the Buffaloes. Got that county win under your belt. I believe that was your first county game. That's another regular season win. We had talked about the winning streak you had going.
Yep.
Unfortunately, things didn't end in a happy way on the night either. You had an injury late in the game also.
Yep.
That kind of marred everything. So talk about the whole entire night, from what happened on the field and what happened at the end also.
Well, I thought we started out playing pretty well. We hit the ground running. Hit Isaiah Treadway for a big gain there early in the game, and he made a great catch, ran through a tackle. So we started off fast, thought we played pretty well. The first half, we played well offensively, we played well defensively. Come out at halftime, put the ball on the ground twice on offense, which was not ideal. Luckily, we had played well enough up to that point to kind of be able to withstand it. And then, obviously the game ends with an injury, pretty scary situation for all of us. Luckily, young man's healthy, doing well, home, and it should be fine. So that's a blessing, but it was certainly not the way you went into a football game.
And that's what I was going to mention too. We're delighted to hear he's doing better also. He did go into the helicopter awake, correct?
Yes, he was awake and conscious, and a lot of it was precautionary, but luckily, like I say, he's fine, and he'll be good for a long time to come, hopefully.
That's great news, because that's one of the worst injuries that I've probably seen throughout Greene County's history too. So we're glad he's doing better. Ethan, if you're watching this, we're all glad you're doing better, from Black Knight Nation and the Buffaloes and everybody else throughout Greene County. But I want to talk about the game a little bit also. We talked about the regular season winning streak that you had, winning that one, moved that up to 12 consecutive wins throughout the regular season now. And the defense is something that we've talked about through the first 2 weeks that I want to add on to in this third week, where the first week you allowed 18, second week you allowed 22. You only allowed 6 and 1 touchdown this time. You've only allowed 46 points throughout the season, which averages out to 15.3, which is just over 2 touchdowns a game also. Talk about your defense and kind of the strategy and the practice that you put into that and what culminates out of it.
Yeah, we really have just nothing crazy special. We've gotten better at tackling, and what we've really done is they've improved their communication. We're playing cleaner defense. We're doing a better job of reading our keys, getting downhill, forcing the edge when we need to, setting the edge hard. So we're just playing cleaner, gap sound defense.
And I really don't know what's better, your offense or your defense, because we talk about your offense or your defense only allowing 15 points a game, but the offense had 429 yards, and a lot of that was just in the first half too. So your offense is one of those that if you don't stop quickly, then opposing teams are going to have trouble, and it seemed that way on Thursday night. Yeah,
we certainly got going fast. And, when you get going fast, it builds some momentum in your kids, and, they certainly did. I mean, the bomb to Treadway early was a big play. Brayson Mervin had a heck of a night, on the ground, and then caught the big long pass there late in the game, which was a really heady play by Nick Palazzo. Isaiah Treadway and Marco Rojas both had phenomenal blocks to spring that thing. So it's pretty nice when you can get them in chunks.
Mm-hmm. And I wanted to talk about some of those players and some of those performances too. Brayson Mervin, I think, will be this week's Grassroots Media Playmaker of the Week. And I think for the third year in a row when he plays West Greene, he will have won that award. I don't know what it is. I mentioned it last year. I don't know what it is every time Brazen plays West Greene, but every time he does, he has a monster game. This year, 13 carries, 180 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 reception, 81 yards and a touchdown. 4 total touchdowns. I think he had maybe 4 or 5 total touchdowns in last year's game too, and another monster performance out of him this week.
Yeah, man, he's electric with the football in his hands. Love to see an opportunity where we could feed him the ball a little bit deeper into a game and really get him lathered up and see what he can do when he gets more than 13 or 14 carries because he's certainly talented. Offensive line played well, gave him room to run. There's a point in time there where you say, we need to drive the ball a little bit, and he breaks one off for 60, and it's like, well,
can't do nothing about that.
I can't be mad about it, but
correct.
So he's certainly electric, been really good for us.
Do you know off the top of your head his average yards per carry?
I don't, but he's got to be over a first down and carry, I would assume.
I might do that math right after I get out of here, and I might flash it on the screen if I remember. Again, I've got short-term memory loss, so we'll see.
He's certainly pretty close. If he's not there, 13 carries for 180 is over 10 a carry.
Mm-hmm. He's got to be over 10. I think it's been over 10 the last 3, but he honestly might be creeping towards 20.
It's pretty good.
It's ridiculous. He's had a ridiculous season so far this year, and he's one of the most enjoyable players to watch throughout the county. Another player that's electric on the field who had a very efficient night, you would say, is Isaiah Treadway.
Yeah.
He had 2 catches, both resulted in 2 touchdowns. One was 79 yards, that deep ball that you would mention, and then one was 11 yards later on. And you can't do much better when you only have 2 hauls on the night and they both go into the end zone.
And the thing about Isaiah that makes Isaiah such a great player for us, obviously he's big, he's tall, he's athletic, but he plays complete football games. He catches the long ball there early in the game and breaks a tackle for a touchdown, and then blocks his tail off when he doesn't have the ball, and then goes and plays corner and is physical on the edge and is a great cover for us. He punts the ball well. He does everything we ask him to do. He plays really hard. So his impact is a lot bigger than 2 catches and 2 touchdowns.
Did you watch the Colorado game on Saturday, a little off topic?
I did not.
Have you heard of Travis Hunter?
Oh, I've certainly heard. I've seen the highlights.
Okay.
I don't know that he's Travis Hunter. I don't think there's.
Yeah, don't get a big head, Isaiah. I don't want to compare the two yet.
I don't think there's many people in the world that have been to Travis Hunter, but
correct.
But he certainly does. And Brock Rush is the same way. They're both explosive with the ball in their hands. But those guys have played almost every snap of football we've played, and they're both as integral on defense as they are on offense. Those guys are special.
I wanted to mention Brock also because I don't think he got into the end zone, but I think he had 4 catches and 54 yards.
Yep.
And still a great night for him. All of those throws actually came from Nick Palazzo, who had another great night, 8 of 10, 234 yards and 3 touchdowns. Do you kind of consider this his coming out game?
Yeah, he played well. He played well. We had the opportunity to put the ball in there a little bit, and he certainly made some throws, which is good to see. As we kind of grow and continue to mesh as an offense, we open it up a little bit more. I'm excited to see, what he can do pushing the ball downfield a little bit.
I was really impressed with Nick's play because that was a game that I think you really started to see him blossom a little bit too because when you finish the night, 80% completion rate, 234 yards and 3 touchdowns.
That's a pretty good night.
That's a pretty efficient night. I don't know what your QB are in that situation. I don't really know those statistics and what goes into that, but I'd say that's a pretty high QBR.
Hard to beat it.
That's correct. That is hard to beat that. But I think that's all we've got from the West Greene game, 40-6 win. No longer a conference game, but still a county game. Going forward this week, you've got South Greene, who the middle school is playing right now. So since I promised it at the beginning, we'll go ahead and talk about it a little bit too. Give us some insight on the middle school team.
This group of middle schoolers has played really good football. They've, I think they've won 3 or 4 in a row here. They've got a bunch of kids. Some really talented 8th graders and 7th graders, a big crop of 6th graders. So I'm looking forward to watching them and kind of looking what our program is going to be in the future.
That was one thing I was going to mention. I saw them during their middle school jamboree earlier this year at Camp Creek, and that's one thing you always love to see if you're a high school coach is the numbers on the field.
Absolutely.
You don't want to see a team that's barely suiting up 20, 25 middle schoolers. When you have a team like that out there where the whole sideline's full, that it looks like a JV squad, then you're going to be set for a while.
What's great about it is it's not just one huge class. There's a big crop of that team of however many 45, 50 kids or whatever is spread through all 3 classes. So you don't have 25 eighth graders and 6 seventh graders. There's a solid crop coming from each one of those classes in the next 3 years. So we got to keep those guys in the program and stuff. But I'm excited to watch them play.
This is really off topic too, but I can't remember which class it was that Coach Kirkendall and I talked about last year. But is it your current sophomore class that has like 15 to 20 kids?
Yeah, sophomore or the current junior class. No,
junior.
Sophomore class.
Is it sophomore?
Yeah,
okay.
Sophomore class is big, and got some talented players in it. So
that'll be what, the class of 2026?
I don't know. Makes me feel old when I think
That'll
about that.
be a very big. That'll be a tough senior night if you're Kyle Donahue.
For sure.
Yeah, because you're going to have to extend the time a little bit on that one with how many seniors you're going to have, plus all the other sports. So
That's right.
Kyle might not ever see this. If I remember this in 2026, I'll show it to him. But Kyle, you have fun with that one because that's going to be interesting with how many kids you'll have out here on the field.
For sure.
But that's all we've got on the first half, though. Congrats on another win, 3-0 on the season now. Got another tough matchup this week, another county matchup against the South Greene Rebels. So we'll jump into the break real quick and jump right back into the interview after these messages here on Grassroots Media.
Tommy's Plumbing has provided professional plumbing services to the residents of Greenville, Tennessee for over 30 years. Our experience and reputation have helped us grow our business to add locations in Jonesboro, Tennessee. Tommy's Plumbing is local and family owned, and we offer a full line of plumbing services, such as kitchen faucet, shower faucets, commodes, and bathroom faucets, as well as drain cleaning. We also provide outside plumbing work, such as septic and sewer drain cleanouts, as well as repair and replace. Tommy's Plumbing pretty much does it all. Tommy's Plumbing is licensed, bonded, and insured. Our quality workmanship and passion to provide our clients with expert service is second to none. We guarantee we have the best warranty around. For all your plumbing needs, give Tommy's a call at 638-3662.
Pizza, pancakes, or donuts, the Davy Crockett Travel Center in Baileyton has the cure for all your cravings. While you're there, shop our general store for souvenirs, gifts, and cellular accessories. In a hurry, grab a cold drink and a hot dog to go. Check us out on Facebook and come to Baileyton.
Welcome back to Grassroots Media, and welcome back to this week's edition of the Gregory Excavating and Contracting Billy Kaylor Show, where we cover everything in Lower Afton with the Chuckey-Doak Black Knights. As always, I'm here with Black Knights head coach Billy Kaylor. I know I've not messed up that intro yet, but the day that I do, I think I'm just going to leave it in here. So hopefully everybody can get some kicks and giggles, because I talk about messing it up all the time, and I think I'm 4 for 4 so far. So
That's right.
Hopefully we'll keep it going, but that is a mouthful.
Pretty good QBR right there.
Yeah, that's a pretty good QBR. I don't know what the highest QBR you can get is. Isn't it like 152 or something weird like that? I don't know. But it'd be perfect. 100% from the free throw line, but this is football.
That's right.
Got the South Greene Rebels this week.
Yep.
Very tough competition.
Absolutely.
One of the toughest teams you'll play so far this season.
Sure.
One of the toughest defenses you'll go up against this season, too. Go ahead and give us some insight on Friday night's matchup. You'll be playing here at home again for that one.
Yep.
So talk about what you prepare to see out of the Rebels on Friday night.
They're a really good football team. They're athletic across the board. They're long. We're planning on a tough football game. I mean, they can run the ball effectively. They've got 2 running backs that are pretty good. Quarterback is a good player. They're dangerous at receiver. I mean, they're across the board somebody we've got to be prepared to play for sure. So defensively, they're pretty tough. They're really long on the back end. So I'm excited to see our boys play, especially with it being a rivalry game. See if they come out a little juiced up and see if we can get something going.
Yeah, you got a pretty good schedule where you got both of your county games back to back.
Yeah, it's nice.
So it's not like it's blocked off where you get it week 3 and week 6. You get yours week 3, week 4, bam, bam.
And this is a really good test for us going into region play. I mean, they're a really good football team. I know they're 2A, but you drop those guys in our region, and they're probably competing for a playoff. I mean, I would say they're definitely competing for a playoff spot. So it's a really good litmus test for us moving into the region play to see how good we really are.
And I want to talk about South Greene's defense also, because I mentioned a few minutes ago that it's going to be one of the toughest defenses that you go up against this season. They're going to throw everything at you that they can. It's one of the most physical and fastest defenses that I've seen so far this season. What do you expect to see from their defense on Friday night?
They're going to bring some pressure. They've shown that on film. They're probably going to bring some pressure we haven't seen on film. So we got to make sure that we're sound up front in both the run game and the pass protection. But like I said, they're fast, they're physical. They're a good football team top to bottom. I don't look at them and see anything or anybody really that's like, we can pick on that kid. No, they're a good football team. So we got to play well.
And usually I like to talk about each offense, but this is one of those games where, I mean, I've been wrong before, but I think this one is going to come down to a defensive game because you've got your defense who's only allowing 15 points a game. If you look at South Greene off the top of my head, I think it's 9 points a game out of the 2 games they played so far. So it's really going to be a defensive showdown on paper, but you never know how it's going to turn out onto the field. What do you plan on doing on defense to limit their attack on offense?
I mean, we got to be really sound up front, make sure we set the edge. They do a really good job of getting to the edge, particularly on the outside zone, some of their buck stuff. So we got to make sure we set that edge and kind of hem them up a little bit, and you know, keep their athletes from getting in space defensively. But you know, it's like it is every week. Win the line of scrimmage. You know, win the line of scrimmage, play sound on the edge, and I think we got a chance.
And I know with North Greene dropping out of competition with you all in South Greene now, I don't know if the County Cup is still a thing anymore. I know Chuckey-Doak took home the County Cup last year after you defeated West Greene. I'm not sure if it's still a thing this year, but I think you can confidently say that if you do win this game, that you would be the outright unofficial county champs after beating West Greene and South Greene.
Yeah, I think that's a fair statement.
I don't know if that's still a thing with North Greene dropping out now, where you could have some weird situation where if North Greene beats the team that beats the other 2, but I think with North Greene losing to West Greene, and then if you were to beat West Greene and South Greene, I think you would be outright county champs there.
That's probably fair to say. It's a little more running around than I'm willing to do, but I think, I mean, I think that'd be cool, you know, for our kids. You know, it's a good thing. You know, rivalries like this are what make small town football special. You know, that's one of the things I love about high school football is these, you know, they know each other. They played against each other for years, so that rivalry and that tenacity to want to have those bragging rights for the next 20, 30 years is pretty cool, I think. So I'm excited for it.
And that was going to be the last thing I led into is usually each game you find something to motivate your players with before every game. But when it comes to these county games, I think just the fact that you're standing across the field from another county team motivates them enough with the bragging rights that are involved.
I mean, I think it should. You throw into it the fact that they're a good football team, and if they're not ready, you know, I mean, the Black Hole will be packed Friday night.
Well, correct.
I don't know how you got a beating heart if you can't run into a high school stadium with that many people in a county game and not be excited to play that football game. That's what high school football is about. That's what makes it special. You know, I tell kids all the time. And I played in college. I played at Clemson, played at Cal, played at Wake Forest. You know, if I was picking a game to play in, it'd be my rival high school in 2007, and it would be playing the Carrollton Trojans because that's the most excited I've ever been for a football game. So it's something special.
It is for sure. I mean, the county games are always my favorite. It's probably everybody else's favorite throughout the county that watches these also. Got another one coming Friday night. It'll be about 24 hours from now. It'll be streaming exclusively here on the Grassroots Media YouTube channel. So if you can't make it down to the Black Hole on Friday night, you can watch it here. We've got the pregame show starting at 6:30, and then following that, it'll be a 7:30 kickoff game. It'll be the Rebels. It'll be the Black Knights. It'll be here in Lower Afton. Coach, that's all I've got for you this week. Thank you for sitting down with me once again.
It, absolutely.
Thank you all for watching this week's edition of the Gregory Contracting and Excavating Billy Kaylor Show. We look forward to seeing you next time here on Grassroots Media.